Well, we have a new moon in Cancer and it's giving absolutely unhinged, but it is also the last new moon before eclipse season starts and absolutely obliterates our reality. So it's incredibly important that we pay attention to this new moon. Oh, and by the way, we are just days away from an astrological configuration that has never, ever happened, like in recorded history. Thirsty? I bet you are. Here's the Weekly Brew. Hello, and welcome to Astrology with Aliza Kelly. I am your host and spiritual friend, Aliza Kelly, and I'm so happy that you're here. This is your Weekly Brew, obviously, served hot and fresh every single Monday. But don't you forget that I also serve tea on Wednesdays. Yes, I do. Those are our tea parties, so stick with me, kid, and I will be serving you the hottest astrology on this side of the galaxy twice a week. So be sure to follow and subscribe right now so you never, ever miss a pour. The theme of the week is last chance. Whoa. And the top 3 things you need to know are: number 1, the week kicks off with a new moon in Cancer, a moon's moon, a wild moon, a lunation that is truly ripe for the most gorgeous, stunning, mystical, wild, unhinged manifestations that your soul could ever even conjure. And number 2, that is because not only is Cancer energy great for manifesting, but it's also the last new moon before eclipse season begins, which means we won't have another new moon to manifest with until September. And number 3, we are getting closer and closer to that astrology. Which astrology? That astrology. That astrology that is peaking at the very end of this week and rolling into the following. It's being referred to as Barbault Basket. So don't be surprised if you are presented with some very shocking, very powerful, very huge and paradigm shifting revelations by the end of the week, as we all anticipate this once-in-a-lifetime meeting of the biggest baddies in the sky. Haha, what a treat. So, what does this mean for you? What is going to happen? Honey, we have a lot to discuss. So be sure to give us that 5-star rating, give us a glowing review so that we can continue to serve. Now hang on to your cup, pinkies up, because tea is served. Hello, community. This is your Monday Weekly Brew with me, Aliza Kelly. And this week, honey, the theme is last chance. Now, before you freak out, hey, don't freak out. Hey, everything's fine. Let me clarify, okay? This isn't your last chance in life. This isn't your last breath. We're talking about, God willing, this is your last chance to manifest before eclipse season. Because after this new moon in Cancer, the next new moon isn't a new moon. It's a solar eclipse in Leo. Yes, it is. And it's actually huge and massive and major. We have not had a solar eclipse in Leo in many a year. We haven't had a solar eclipse in Leo with the South Node in Leo in even longer, many a year. In fact, it's been almost 20 years. So this is pretty big. Eclipses are linked to destiny and fate, and during eclipse season, we do not manifest. It is the one time of the year that we put our manifestation practice to rest. We give it a break. We practice good spiritual hygiene by letting the universe take the wheel and sort of showing us where we need to go. Because we don't necessarily know where we need to end up, right? We might think we do, but we have no idea. MTV Diary, you know what I'm talking about? Listen, the road to get on the path of our soul is lined with chaos and intensity and lots of tears and headaches and stress. But when we get there, we know that we are there for a reason. We know that there's really nowhere else we could be except right there. There is so much to be said about the powerhouses that eclipses are, and this is a perfect time to remind you that I am hosting an in-person solar eclipse retreat this August, which is coming up really, really soon, in less than a month, at Omega Center, Omega Institute in upstate New York. It's 90 minutes from the city, super easy to get to. It's on August 7th, 8th, and 9th. And we are going to be talking about eclipses, this eclipse. We're going to talk about destiny, your destiny, what everything means for you, how to find it in your chart. You are not going to want to miss this, okay? So head over to tinyurl.com/Aliza-retreat. That's tinyurl.com/Aliza-retreat to register right now. And honey, what you need to know this week is that this new moon is ushering us into that karmic story. So this is your last chance to make some serious new moon magic and not only set intentions for this lunar cycle, these 29 days ahead, but also set intentions that are going to carry you all through eclipse season, all into the rest of summer. Honey, it's tea. And I love, adore that this final new moon before eclipse season is a new moon in Cancer. Truly, I couldn't think of a more beautiful alignment for this particular lunation before all of the craziness starts to kick in, because Cancer is the moon's moon. Because a new moon in Cancer is the moon in its home base. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So the moon is in its home sign. And this means that the moon gets to do what the moon likes to do best. It nourishes, it protects, it gets weird, it gets vibey, it becomes one with nature. I really think that the wildness of Cancer placements are often overlooked, because when we think of Cancer, we're thinking about it from that caretaking point of view, which is true. It's mommy, it's caretaker, it's nurturer. It is. But have you ever met a mommy? Because honey, let me tell you, we mommies are fucking wild. Mothers are creators, but mothers are destroyers. Mothers are Mother Nature, and Mother Nature is fucking wild. And the moon, which is the archetype of this energy, is the essence of life and death and nature and raw beauty. It's pure energy. It's screaming at the top of your lungs, crying your eyes out, laughing in a flower field. Excuse me. It's giving birth. It's falling in love. It's grieving loss. Life itself is wild. And the moon in Cancer and the new moon in Cancer, that is the embodiment of that wildness, that natural way of being so connected to the energetics, to the forces, that we ultimately become one with all of them. Now, I always say that I have never met a Cancer moon who doesn't need to run naked in the woods from time to time. And this is applicable here too, for this new moon in Cancer that's happening this week. The more wild you get, the more unhinged you get, the more that you surrender to the forces, the more that you let yourself live and breathe and create and celebrate the raw human essence that is you. Honey, that is really when you can tap in to the truth of what your heart desires. Not to mention that Cancer is a cardinal sign. And the cardinal signs are all linked to manifestation. They are the manifestation signs. The cardinal signs are the ones that are associated with the beginning of seasons. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Those are the 4 cardinal signs. And they are all manifestors. They are all creators, right? They start the season. Cardinal signs are doers. They make things happen. And Cancer, the only cardinal water sign, does this by way of feelings, of sensitivities. The raw essence of nature and creation itself is your feeling. Because think about it. Everything that you do first exists as a feeling. The external world is always just catching up to our internal one. And the internal one is the one that we conjure during the essence of this new moon. And that's kind of tank, right? There are no coincidences. So as we are manifesting for this new moon in Cancer, we're not just thinking about what we're manifesting externally. We're actually using our sensitivities, our feeling, our internal compass as the guide, as the jumping off point. We spend so much time trying to change the circumstances of our life that we forget that the circumstances are a response to what our internal world feels we deserve. So at the very top of the week, I invite you to really let those emotions run amok, okay? Think about all of the depth and nuance and complexity of your heart and soul and your feelings. And from there, ask yourself, what do I want? What do I need? What am I feeling pulled to create right now? Ask yourself what emotional landscape you need in order to be the best, baddest, most bodacious version of yourself. Not just now, but over the next few weeks too. Because honey, this new moon is fertile ground. And I also need to remind you that it is indeed the last chance. It's the last chance to exist in this world before, well, it all goes through something, right? Because by the end of the week and into the following, we are going to be experiencing a phenomenon that has literally never happened before in recorded history. Seriously. 4 of the most major planets in astrology are coming together. These 4 big, heavy hitters, these head honchos, the ones that define culture and civilization and government and institutions and revolutions and the epics of history, they are all coming together and forming what is being referred to as Barbault Basket, because it is being named after the astrologer who first identified that this was going to start happening in 1955. Yes, Diva, this has been tracked and on the astrological radar for over 70 years. That is a testament to how big of a deal it is. We have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and Uranus, the planet of shocking things, and Neptune, the planet of belief systems, and Pluto, large-scale institutional transformation, all coming together exactly, all in fire and air signs, all at 4 degrees. Tank, 4 planets, 4 degrees. Oh, well, it would appear that we are on the precipice of big societal change, wouldn't it? Will it be a positive change? Will it be a negative change? Will it be utopia? Will it be apocalyptic doomsday? Well, honey, we'll talk about it more next week. But right now, what I need to tell you is that the more you lock in, and by lock in, I mean connect to your magic, connect to your truth, connect to your soul, connect to the energy of this wild, beautiful new moon, connect to the profundity of simply being alive with a consciousness at this moment in time, the more you have the ability to move the needle on both a personal and a collective level, because you have the power. You are the power. And this week, the new moon in Cancer is begging you to unleash the full scope of your magic and to remember that you are of nature and nature is powerful. And when you trust the fact that you are so magical, anything is possible. That's tea. And as always, I have your journal prompt for the week ahead. If I were to manifest the most wild, most beautiful, most bountiful things from now through the next new moon in September, what would they be? And how can I connect with that hope in my body right now? And now, my friends, let's move over to these stunning 78 cards to get some more insight into what the week ahead, this final new moon, this last chance before eclipse season, before this Barbault Basket bounce house is all about. If you're new here, hi, I'm Aliza. This is everyone. This is tarot. This is tea. This is a tree. This is me. We pull a tarot card every single week to catch a vibe on what is really in store for us, what's a deeper level that we can connect to, one dimension beyond just astrology. So let's see what we're going to get, what we need to know. Here we go. Queen of Swords. We know her. If you have been with us for the past several weeks, you know that we have been on a real sword journey, but through the court cards primarily, which is so interesting. We have not been pulling a lot of minor cards around here. It's been a lot of court cards. And a reminder with the court cards is that sometimes I feel like people interpret these to be like a person, but I do not perceive these as a person as much as a sort of energy that we need to be channeling. How can we tap into those parts of our character, those parts of our identity? And just 2 weeks ago, we pulled the King of Swords, which was associated with Jupiter moving into Leo and the beginning of Mercury retrograde, just, overall cuckoo bananasness. We had pulled the Page of Swords a few weeks before that. The first card we ever pulled here on this podcast was Ace of Swords. So yeah, all of us are smarties. We know that. We're all smart bitches who know how to use our mind. Now, Queen of Swords is the smartest bitch of all, because the Queen of Swords is not even going to bother to make eye contact with you. She knows what happens when you give her those puppy eyes, and she knows that you can find a way into her heart by pleading with her and making that little face and being all like, Queen of Swords doesn't want to hear it, and that's why she's in profile. She's focused on what she needs to do. She is not putting up with the bullshit. She is discerning, she is decisive, and she is not going to be distracted by whatever is being thrown at her this week that is going to derail her from being able to execute what she knows she needs to accomplish and achieve. Go off, right? Queen of Swords can be cold. Queen of Swords can be a little ruthless, but that's just because when you are really in it, like when you are in the weeds, when you need to make a decision, when you need to look at the facts, when you need to collect the data and really process what is being thrown at you, you cannot be bothered by someone trying to rope you into some like overly emotional conversation. And then the next thing you know, you're like, wait, I totally lost my focus. I lost my place. Now I don't even know what I'm doing. So how interesting for us to get this when the new moon in Cancer is so sensitive, so emotional, so about the feelings, right? So this to me is sort of like a reminder that as we are working with this new moon in Cancer energy, as we are getting all riled up and wilded out by being one with nature, there also may be some decisions that we need to be making, and we cannot let our own sort of proclivities, sensitivities, ADHD brains take us away from the clarifying choices that we need to be making this week. So new moon in Cancer, wild out, set those manifestations, but also stay steady, stay focused. You know what you need to do, so don't take your eye off the prize. Period. Coming up, let's talk about what this new moon in Cancer, this very last chance to manifest, means for you. I have your personalized horoscope, baby, so stay tuned. I'll be right back, ready to pour after a very quick break. Welcome back, community. It's time for your horoscope. Now, of course, listen for your sun and rising, but also listen for your moon. And also, listen for your friends, listen for your lovers, listen for your crushes, your colleagues, your mother, your father, your children. You get the vibe. Listen for everyone you know, because you're going to want to know what this means for them so that you can show up as your best self. It's like the hack of all hacks. All right, let's get into it. Hi, Aries. Quick question. Are you ready to actually start living your life? Maybe a little bit of a loaded question, because what am I implying? Am I suggesting that you are not living your life right now? Well, Aries, of course you are. Sure you are. But you are also so good at pushing through, figuring things out, carrying so much in that tiny little satchel that you have almost forgotten whether all of that effort is actually worth it. Whether you are working your way up to the life that you want to be living, that you're going to enjoy waking up to. Honey, you don't need another mountain to climb just to prove that you can. I know that you love winning, but maybe we can make sure that we know the race that we're participating in this week. Just an idea, just a thought. Now, this week's new moon in Cancer reminds you that your manifestations, your best manifestations, have to begin with your feelings. And that means being in your feelings, being embodied, right? Embodied by your feelings, being of your feelings, and not forcing certain narratives through just because you think that's what you're supposed to be doing. Before you charge towards the next goal, spend a little bit of time this week reconnecting with the emotional foundation beneath whatever is driving you. Aries, what does it feel like for you to feel safe? What are the things that make you feel inspired? What does being inspired feel like in your body? What kind of life would allow you to wake up and be like rip-roaring, ready to go, excited, instead of immediately thinking about the next fire that you need to be putting out, immediately thinking about what is going to stress you out, immediately thinking about the fact that you're beefing with so-and-so again? These answers matter, and they matter more than just trying to solve them on a Monday, right? In a moment. They matter because understanding what is the driving force behind your internal compass is going to help you really get clear on the emotional blueprint that will carry you through the rest of the summer. Yes, including eclipse season. So Aries, this week, I want you to practice your manifestation work 100% because you are the manifestor's manifestor. You are an expert manifester. But I want you to really launch it from a place of embodiment rather than pressure or feeling like you're supposed to do this thing. Build your intentions around the best feelings that you have ever had in your life, whether that is like having the most delicious vanilla ice cream, or it's spending time with someone who just makes you feel good, or it's like literally watching your favorite show. It doesn't matter what makes you feel good. I want to understand what makes you feel good and why. You have already survived enough, right? You are doing the most to make sure that you are going to be able to get through the toughest of times. But between now and September, let's see what happens when you actually give yourself permission to tap into your feelings, to tap into your core, to tap into that villain origin story, and actually give yourself permission to live the life that you want to be living. Hi, Taurus. Okay, I'm going to give you a little homework. I want you this week to surprise yourself. I want you to say yes. I want you to try something new. I want you to strike up a conversation with a total stranger. I want you to wander into the woods with a little red hood and a basket. And if you see a wolf, honey, you're going to know what to do, okay? But right now, we have the last new moon of the summer that we can manifest with, because eclipse season is coming in hot. It is roaring in. And this new moon in Cancer is a reminder for you that magic and curiosity go hand in hand. They're two peas in a pod. This is one of the most mystical, intuitive, sensitive new moons of the whole fucking year, Taurus. So yeah, you're going to have some feelings, strange feelings. You're going to have some nudges. You're going to get some downloads, a little, oh my goodness, right place, right time, a little, right place, wrong time, a little, holy shit, I cannot believe that just happened, a little tank. There are no coincidences. The universe has been trying to get your attention lately, Taurus, and this week, it is going to make sure that you stop dismissing it and really take it in. Listen to the alarm, because these alignments are going to be coming to you from all directions, from messengers, which yes, also include like angel messengers dropping 1111 all over your fucking microwave, or even your friends sharing things with you that are really incredibly illuminating. And you're like, whoa, I'm really glad to know that now. Everything is pointing you somewhere, Taurus, and it's pointing you somewhere very important. So whether you are finding the patterns and connecting the dots in these new friendships, in these new ideas that you're having, in these fresh perspectives that you are staying open to because you are willing to try something new, your willingness to stay open will change the trajectory of the next few months of your life. And since we're talking about eclipse season here, that means your future. As you set your intentions, try not to control the outcome, okay? Maintain this playful adaptability, which I know is very not Taurus coded, but just see where things take you. And also, of course, stay present in your body, stay present in your experiences. The version of you that is on the other side of this eclipse season is going to have a very different definition of happiness than the one that you have today. So just leave a little bit of room for that curiosity, for that whimsy, for that uncertainty, so you can get ready to greet this Taurus 2.0 that's waiting for you in September. Hi, Gemini. What are you investing in? right now. No, I'm not talking about your financial portfolio, maybe a little bit, but I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about you, honey, pouring your focus, your energy, your creativity into what? What are you pouring it into? You tell me. Because this week we have this beautiful new moon in Cancer, and it's the last lunation before eclipse season. And for you, that is really speaking to where you direct your gaze. Because where you direct your gaze is where your energy goes and what ends up actually taking shape in your life. You feel me? So if you've been focusing on not having enough, whatever it is, money, friends, success, then that is what you are going to see amplified, Gemini. So baby, maybe we need to try something else, try something new. This new moon is asking you to become incredibly intentional about what you are feeding. Every thought, every habit, every relationship, every dream is receiving some amount of your life force energy. So if you have been watering self-doubt or comparison or scarcity in this busted ass garden, well, honey, don't be surprised if those weeds keep on growing. But this beautiful new moon is a reminder that, hey, the soil is fertile. You can plant something new if you want. This doesn't have to be your garden. What would happen if instead of obsessing over the things that make you feel insecure, the areas of life where you feel you are lacking, you actually start nurturing what already feels abundant to you? How would your life change if you trusted that what's meant for you isn't something that you have to force or chase or become absolutely obsessed with, but is something that is already flowing in your direction, and you just need to learn how to channel those waters and actually be present enough to receive it. Now, this week, I want you to set intentions that expand your relationship with abundance in every sense of the word, okay? More time, more ease, more creativity, more pleasure, more delight, more confidence in your own fucking magic, Gemini. Your worth has never been measured by how much you produce or how efficiently you perform. Hello, late-stage capitalism. This is about knowing that anything you want, you can have, so long as you believe, aka know, that you deserve it. Intrinsically. That's T, Gemini. Hello, Cancer. Well, my darling. This one is all about you. Y-O-U. This new moon is in your sign. It is the only new moon of the year in your sign. And yes, honey, it is your personal invitation to begin again, because a new moon is the beginning of the lunar cycle. You are the moon's child, ruled by the moon. This is a moon in its domicile. It's a new moon, a beginning moon, right where it loves to be in your sign. And it's also a last chance moon because it's the final new moon before eclipse season. So the intentions that you plant now are going to have a very long runway, Cancer, all the way until September, my little Krabby Patty. So think of this as setting the emotional landscape that is truly going to guide you through the rest of the summer into the fall. And because we're also talking about eclipse season, we're setting you up for the rest of your life. So yeah, it's the beginning and an end all at the same time. It's very layered. It's very loaded. Not a lot of signs can handle it, but you can, because you are ruled by the moon. And the moon doesn't care about being reasonable. It cares about feelings. It cares about instincts. It cares about you being the baddest, wildest version of yourself that you could possibly be. So honey, me, your friend Aliza, wants you to get wild, okay? I want you to go so bananas. I want you to get so bonkers, so unhinged that all of your friends are like, Aliza told you that this is okay? Yes, I did. And you can show them the receipt. I want you, my friend, to dream so big that it actually starts getting a little excessive and a little out of character. Because if your imagination cannot even hold the possibility of something 20, 30, 500 million times bigger than whatever manifestations that you've been doing are, then how is your life supposed to meet you maybe somewhere in the middle? You feel me? So here's your homework. Stop negotiating with your potential. If there's something that you have been secretly wanting, whether that be a relationship or a new career, a cross-country move, some new creative inspiration, maybe Cancer, a completely different life altogether, well, accept the fact that it's available to you. Believe that it is available to you. Why not you? Seriously, Cancer, why not you? Under this new moon in your sign, manifest the most audacious life that you can and let go of anything that is limiting you. Your soul did not come here to play it safe. Ew. Your soul came to experience the full wild potential of this weird, wacky consciousness that you have. Honey, the universe can offer you whatever, right? It can do whatever you want it to do for you. But if you really want all the good stuff, all the juicy stuff, you have to be brave enough to direct it, to show it where you're trying to go. And if you can do this now, if you can do this week, woo! Wait until you see how much your life changes by the time these eclipses are over and we have the next new moon post eclipses in September. You're gonna freak out. Hello, Leo. Okay, so this week we have a very important new moon in Cancer. Yes, we do. It is a manifesting moon, and it is the last new moon before eclipse season. And not just any eclipse season, your eclipse season. Eclipses on the Leo-Aquarius axis. Eclipses on the Leo-Aquarius axis for the first time since 2016 to 2019. So yes, there's going to be a lot that is happening to you and for you in these next weeks that are coming up soon. Next month, we don't even have a new moon. We have a solar eclipse in Leo. And that is really going to rock and roll you in ways that you won't even be able to believe. Not to mention that your birthday season starts next week. Happy early birthday, Leo. There's a lot that is coming up for you, okay? Jupiter is in your sign for the first time in 12 years. South Node is going to be in your sign. Big, big, big energy. So should we even bother with this new moon? Should we even care? Well, yeah, definitely. It's really important, actually, that before you step onto that stage, Leo, that you take a moment to fix your hair in the green room, in the dressing room, that you look in the fucking mirror and make sure that you're not going to have some massive wardrobe malfunction. And this new moon is your critical moment to make sure that you are prepared for all of the cuckoo banana things that are coming your way. This is your big inhale before your arrival. This is the moment that you can make sure that you are totally off book, that you know what you are stepping into, right? That you know the stage that you are stepping onto. For you, this new moon in Cancer is going to be activating the area of your chart associated with memory and intuition and dreams and instinct and maybe grief and sadness too, all parts of your psyche that usually exist behind the curtain. So this is your invitation to spend a little bit of time there. Every single chapter that you have lived has made you the person that you are, Leo. And every part of your being, your soul, your truth, your dreams, your fears, your doubts, your desires, they can all be incorporated into this beautiful, complex stew that is truly the depth of your soul, the depth of who you are, what makes you special. And this new moon is your opportunity to make sure that your manifestations aren't just like the most basic, simplistic, surface level expressions of what you want. No, Leo, set wishes that really speak to the full scope of your truth, that allow you to be complicated, that allow you to be contradictory, that allow you to remember that your life is made up of joy and sorrow and confidence and fear and triumph and heartbreak, and all of it belongs. All of it is what adds dimensionality to your narrative. Because when eclipse season arrives, you are going to be so fucking off to the races, Leo, There is going to be so much changing so fast that this new moon is your opportunity to really take a second to recognize how far you have come and why you deserve to have all of the happiness and success in the world. Leo, your life has not been easy. You make it look easy, but it hasn't been easy. And this new moon is your chance to get so real with yourself that when you step out onto that stage, you're going to be like, I'm ready for the light. Hello, Virgo. This new moon is a reminder that life gets so much bigger when you stop trying to build it all by your damn self. Virgo, I know, you've got it. You're capable, you're resourceful, it's totally under control. You're already halfway through solving the problem before anyone else even realized there was a problem. No one would have known what you have been dealing with, and part of you likes it, right? Like you like to be that kind of anonymous Batman who can swoop in and save the world without anyone even knowing. And then there's another part of you that's like, hello, I did this. A little credit, please, a little acknowledgement. Why am I being so ignored and overlooked? But this new moon in Cancer does not want you to feel underappreciated, Virgo. No, no, no. It actually wants you to be very appreciated by way of building a team of people who actually can help you get where you want to go. Listen, honey, we human beings aren't meant to find success in isolation. We need our villages. We need our mirrors. We need our collaborators. We need people who can reflect back to us the possibilities that we couldn't have imagined on our own. So pay attention to anyone who enters your life over the next few days. This week, those key people are going to help you feel more expansive, more creative, more inspired, more well-resourced. Because anyone who ends up crossing your path right now, under this enchanted new moon, is going to have a much bigger role in your story than you could ever even imagine possible. Tea. So, as you make your wishes for this new moon in Cancer, don't just think about what you want to build. Think about how you can build it with other people. Maybe that looks like having fantastic manager support so that you can actually bring all of your artistic visions to life. Maybe it's teaming up with another creator who you can collab with on some really cool projects and expand your audience, expand your reach. Hey, maybe it's finding another parent who really gets how you are struggling right now, and you can work on like a play share together so that you both have more time to do more of the things that you love. Maybe it's finding a friend who binges the same Bravo show that you do, and you both have like the hottest takes in all the land. It does not have to be something that feels like spiritually significant in the moment. It can, but the point is the people that you are connecting with right now are going to help take you to further places than you are today. Virgo, you are loved. You are wanted. People think you're hilarious. And lean into that support, because that support is going to help you feel more satiated, more stable, more anchored in every choice you make. I mean, come on, there's a reason that witches gather in covens. Collective magic is just more powerful. Coming up, we have the second half of the zodiac to pour. Stay tuned for your personalized horoscope right after a very quick break. Welcome back, community. Let's get right back into it, okay? Your horoscope is coming up. We've got some astrology to spill. Hello, Libra. Let me ask you something, okay? How much would you say that your life is actually yours, and how much of it is just really, really, really good PR? I mean it. Libra, you are one of the most socially intelligent signs of the zodiac, if not the most. You know how to read a room. You know how to layer on the charm. You know how to say the right thing to the right person at exactly the right time. And honey, it's a gift, truly. You're very good at it. But hold on, because if we were to strip it all down, what would it look like for you to be deeply and spiritually connected with your truth? Cut the lights, cut the music, record scratch. No one is here. No one is here but me and you. Okay. What do you want, Libra? Like, seriously, what do you want, and who the fuck are you? This new moon in Cancer is asking you to come home. Come on home, Libra. Come home to yourself before eclipse season starts turning everything into a cuckoo, bananas, chaotic whirlwind, hurricane, fire show. What's a fire show? I don't want to know. Over the next few months, life is going to move very quickly for you. And if you don't know what you want now, it's going to be very, very hard for you to actually figure it out, and much easier for you to get swept up in someone else's dream and someone else's story. And then you're like, wait, what am I doing here? So this week, do not waste a second of your damn time trying to become more palatable, okay? Focus on getting real with yourself. Focus on your integrity. Focus on your honesty. Focus on your grit. You will be presented with opportunities to get weird, to challenge yourself, to do things that surprise you. Take these opportunities, because by the time eclipse season is over, I don't want you feeling like nothing has changed in your life because you were afraid of how everyone else was going to perceive your evolution. This is not about being cringe, okay? This is about being very spiritually tuned in with who you really are at your core. I want you to take a look in the mirror and make deep, solid eye contact with yourself, with your soul, and be like, oh, there I am. And we're making it happen, not because I'm playing by the rules, but because I know my core. I know my truth. And every intention I set, I'm doing it with integrity, and I'm doing it for me. That's tea, Libra. That is tea. Hello, Scorpio. Listen, nobody replays a conversation quite like you. Nobody can stare at a text message and extract 17 different meanings from a single punctuation mark. Scorpio, it's impressive. I mean, I'm impressed. But I can imagine that being so hypervigilant is a lot. I can imagine that it's a lot to process every single layer of context and subtext that could ever, should ever exist. And maybe this week, you don't have to do it. Or at least if you do it, you'll do it in a way that feels restorative rather than just obsessive. You'll do it in a way that actually helps you get closer to what you want to achieve and accomplish rather than just something that totally derails you, right? Sometimes, Scorpio, we don't need another breakthrough. Sometimes we don't need another clue. Sometimes we don't need to prove ourselves to anyone, including to ourselves. We don't need to be right. Sometimes we just need some fresh air. We need proof. We need a reminder that the world is so much bigger than whatever weird vibe someone you don't even care about is sending your way. Like, if you are not inspired by that person, why do their opinions matter at all? Like, ever to you? Perspective is a spiritual practice, Scorpio. The intentions that you set for this new moon in Cancer, which does happen to be the very last new moon before we get into eclipse season, are no doubt going to change your life, change your reality in every possible which way. It is going to be such a tremendous moment of transformation that what you need to focus on under this lunation are really setting goals and wishes and intentions for yourself that are fueled by your own desire and drive to have a bigger and better and badder life, not one that is being informed by small-minded people that you don't even need to be worrying about. The tea is, Scorpio, that you have been focusing on the wrong things. And with this new moon in Cancer, you need to make sure that you're prioritizing the things that you actually care about. Hi, Sagittarius. Can I glaze you up for a minute? Please let me lather this on for you, okay? I am obsessed with you. I love that you have this just like inherent ability to keep things moving. Life knocks you down, and somehow by the next morning, there's Sagittarius again, back on their feet, starting a new hobby, exploring a new spiritual philosophy, or literally like whatever, just like over whatever stressful event absolutely, totally knocked the wind out of you, not even 24 hours before. Like, That's really cool. But every once in a while, that intrinsic glass half full mentality rushes in, floods the cup a little too quickly. And then the next thing you know, you haven't processed what had happened to you. Even though it's very clear that like something major occurred, you have feelings around it. You should have feelings around it. And they have been stacking up, right? Weighing you down. But because this water is just like pouring over this gorgeous, optimistic fountain, you're sort of missing what's going on at the bottom, right? You're ignoring the fact that there's some freaky bacteria piling up, that things are not as crystal clear as they should be. But this new moon is inviting you into the recesses of your psyche and probably into some of the spaces that you have been avoiding. Listen, Sag, I know that you are someone who's like, forward march, right? Like you don't want to deal with it. But there's an entire universe that lives inside of you that is going to be really exciting to explore. The deepest adventures aren't external, Sag, they're internal. And they demand that you actually take a little bit of time to really ruminate on how you feel and all of the things that have happened to you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that really is the mark of true courage, Sag. And frankly, the mark of your wildness too. And let me just tell you, okay? Even though Cancer energy has a reputation of being a bit like grandmotherly, your planetary ruler, Jupiter, is exalted in Cancer, which means, hey, maybe you and Cancer have more in common than you even realize. And I know the answer to it. It's time. So before eclipse season gets going and really knocks you around, right? You are going to be in this like wacky, tacky, karmic tizzy. Use this new moon in Cancer this week to set intentions rooted around your ability to spend a little of that abundant time getting to know yourself. Invite all of the different parts of your past to a campfire. Make them s'mores, Sag, because this week you're going to see truly that when you actually go in, you find the most amazing buried treasure. And you know what? It's you. Hi there, Capricorn. You are, without question, the person that everyone relies on. You are amazing in a crisis. You know how to maintain that cool, calm, collected composure, even when everything is literally falling apart around you. It's kind of giving Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, yes. You know how to solve problems. You know how to help other people identify their problems. You're not afraid to call out other people's problems. And that is why you are the GOAT, the steady, reliable, dependable GOAT. But hold on. Come here. Closer. Closer. Let me ask you a question. Capricorn, can you rely on yourself? Because if you feel like you haven't been advocating for yourself to the full extent that you know you should be, if you feel like you haven't been holding people to the standards that you know they should be held at, or holding their feet to the fire when you know you should not be letting them off the hook, well, honey, you're disappointing yourself. You're letting yourself down. And that is no way for a steady, reliable GOAT to feel. And that is exactly why this new moon in Cancer is here to sweep you off your feet and get you back on track. Because Capricorn, this new moon in your opposite sign, is an opportunity to practice loyalty, yes, interpersonally, but also with yourself. This new moon is a reminder that every single time you ignore your own instincts, every time you don't stand up for yourself, every time you settle, that's an act of betrayal. And come on, Capricorn, who craves loyalty more than you? Literally no one. So before eclipse season comes barreling in and starts rearranging your world, use this new moon in Cancer to set intentions around fortifying a better, more honest, more aligned relationship with what you want, what you need, and your ability to advocate for that. Yes, partnership matters, duh. But if your feelings of truth are wavering internally, how are you going to be able to trust anyone? Honey, get right with yourself this week, and I promise everything is going to fall perfectly into place, even with the eclipses coming up the rear. Hi, Aquarius. You are someone who is always imagining what life could be. That's really your magic. You see possibilities long before anyone else does. You can envision a different future, a different world, a different way of doing things. And it's one of the reasons that people are so drawn to you. You just get things on this abstract yet soulful, expansive level. And you can do it without even trying. But that futurism eventually needs to become a practice in the now. And that is what this week is all about. The new moon in Cancer, the last new moon before eclipse season, and not just any eclipse season, but your eclipse season, Aquarius, with the North Node of Destiny in your sign, is about turning your vision for the future into your run-of-the-mill Tuesday afternoon. Yes, Aquarius, I'm inviting you to think less about the destination and more about the path that is literally going to get you there. The path being your morning routine, what you eat, what you drink, what time you go to sleep, how you shower, what that looks like, what products do you use. Before life starts moving at warp speed, ask yourself, how can I become more embodied and more present? How can I become someone who has the ability to take that vision for a better tomorrow and alchemize it into a fucking fabulous today? Because honey, if you can figure out how to work that magic, anything, and I mean anything, is possible. Hey Pisces, this Cancer new moon, the final new moon before eclipse season comes and rocks you like a hurricane, is really ready to lighten your load. So let me ask you, are you surrounding yourself with people who see your imagination, your whimsy as a gift or as a freak show? Because you are someone who feels in colors, You think in symbols, yes? And you love with your whole spirit. You are someone who doesn't want to be told no, not because you're like, I don't like the rules, but because why no ever? Why ever set that type of a boundary? Why ever create a hard line? Why should there ever be a no? Ever at all? And Pisces, that's beautiful, but it's also so very specific that not everyone is going to know how to match thy freak, how to meet that energy. Not everyone is going to know what to do with that. And then because of that, you may find yourself in situations where people are taking advantage of you, where people are seeing you and your disinterest in a no, disinterest in a boundary as an opportunity for them to just take, and absolutely drain you of all of your magic and whimsy. So this week is a call to action. It's a call to the connections, romantic or otherwise, that you have in your life, recognizing that the dreaminess that you have, that you bring to the table, shouldn't just be something that is tolerated or worse, exploited. It should be something that is celebrated and something that is held with reverence. You deserve to be around people who fuel your creativity, who say yes with you, who believe in magic right alongside you. And Pisces, if you are single, this lunation could draw someone in who really matches your emotional wavelength and isn't afraid to swim in those enchanted seas with you. And if you're already in a relationship, well, honey, this is a beautiful moment to bring some imagination back to the mix. You can cook together, you can dance in the living room together, you can get extra sexy and vibey one night. Ooh la la. This is your reminder that intimacy for you as a Pisces should be about wonder and whimsy and rediscovering each other again and again and again. Because how many lifetimes are you going to have together? Here's one. Maybe this is your 500th. And here's why it matters. Eclipse season is coming in. And it's not just any eclipse season. It's an eclipse season that has your little fingerprints all over it. And everything is going to be accelerating, especially at the end of August when we have a lunar eclipse in your sign. Doors are going to be opening. They're going to be closing. People are going to be entering. They're going to be exiting. Time speeds up. Opportunities jump out of nowhere. Duck. Everything you thought you knew gets left behind. So this new moon is helping you build a beautiful emotional anchor before all of that begins. And then by the time it's over, after that lunar eclipse in Pisces has happened, you'll realize that the magic that you established this week with the new moon in Cancer, through the love, through the connections, through the closeness, laid the foundation for everything that's about to unfold. And trust me, Pisces, you're going to be shocked. And that is all for this episode. What did you think? What did you love? Are you ready for this final new moon before eclipse season begins? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to join me on Wednesday for our tea party, and then on Monday again for another horoscope, Weekly Brew, and then Wednesday's tea party, Mondays and Wednesdays, Mondays and Wednesdays. Are you even following and subscribing? Because honey, I never, ever, ever want you to miss a thing. Be sure to give us that 5-star rating, tell your friends, write a glowing review, and stay with us so you never, ever miss an episode. All right, see you soon.